If you think Colonial Williamsburg looks pretty, wait until you see what came next. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this house. Today, we are exploring Federal Style, America's first signature architecture. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode. As we wrap up our time in the 18th century, we find ourselves in a new nation with new ideas. After declaring independence from the crown, the newly formed United States of America was ready to chart its own course with no king to answer to and no historic styles to mimic. The stage was set for a distinctly American architecture to take root. What would this new style look like? Would it even be possible to stray so far from European trends? You bet. But before we get to all that, we have to talk about who's behind the biggest development in early American architecture. The man considered by many to be the father of American architecture himself, John Haviland. Born in 1726 in Rhode Island, Halliwell's career began with a bang when he designed his very first building. The Granary Burying Ground in Boston, which remains the oldest surviving purpose-built cemetery in the country. As his career took off, so did his fame. He was invited to Philadelphia to design a series of buildings for the Pennsylvania Hospital, one of the first hospitals in the nation. One of those structures was the first building in America to be specifically designed as a hospital rather than repurposed from another use, like most were at the time. These projects brought him to the attention of George Washington, who hired him to design a series of buildings at Mount Vernon and then to oversee construction at his new home in Philadelphia, which would later become the nation's capital. In a letter written by Washington to Halliwell, he instructs the architect to employ the following. In the arrangement and fitting up of my house, neatness and convenience with as little expense as can be consistent with good order and the ideas of a genteel family living. With those instructions in mind, Halliwell made good on his charge, designing a house that fit the bill and impressed upon the young nation a distinct classical American style. So what exactly is Federal style? In architectural history, styles are often named after a group of people who practice a particular style of architecture or who patronize the architects that do. And in this case, Federal style is named after the first federal government of the United States. This period in American history is generally considered to have begun around 1780 and lasted until about 1830. During this time, the U.S. saw itself become a strong international player and expand dramatically with the Louisiana Purchase and the acquisition of Florida. From an architectural standpoint, this explosion of patriotism coincided with the work of Thomas Jefferson, who infused the classical orders with distinctly American ideals. In fact, the term Federal style may have been coined by Jefferson himself. When he wrote about the architecture of America in a letter to an English friend, he remarked that, quote, our houses follow somewhat the model of those in England, but are larger and more pompous in their proportions. End quote. Today, the only remnant of Halliwell's original structure is the south wing with its stately brick facade and hipped roof. But inside you can still see evidence of Halliwell's masterful hand. Here, Federal style flourishes like wainscoting. Chair rails and picture rails frame each room with delicate detail, while pilasters anchor either end of the fireplace mantel, giving it a sense of stability. Above it, a simple frieze carries out the rhythm established by the pilasters, culminating in a simple cornice that echoes the frieze's dentil molding. These elements, in combination with delicate plasterwork on the ceiling, infuse the room with an air of refined elegance. A similar sophistication marks the stair hall, where Solomonic balustrade with delicate tracery wraps around the stairs, which gracefully curve between fluted posts to meet the platform at the second floor. Unlike Georgian stairs, which often featured bulky newel posts and solid balustrade, these stairs were lighter and more graceful, echoing the Rococo aesthetic across the pond in Europe. All of these interior elements combine to make for a sophisticated and stately home for the President of the United States. It was also highly influential in establishing the look of a nation. While Hollingsworth's design for Mount Vernon was a masterpiece of Federal style, it wasn't the only important house built during this period. In fact, one of the best examples of Federal style can be found just down the road from Mount Vernon at the Robert Morris House. like Washington. Morris was a founding father and served as one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. His house, however, is considered by many to be the finest example of federal architecture ever built. Upon first glance, it's easy to see why. The 5-bay wide brick facade is symmetrical, save for the 3 windows set asymmetrically to one side of the front door. An elaborate cornice crowns the low-pitched gable roof and sits atop delicate modillions. The interior of the house is equally stunning. Here, iambic capitals adorn the columns which separate the dining room from the stair hall, and above them, elliptical arches carry the eye upward toward the delicately painted ceiling. In the center of the house, the grand staircase sweeps past fluted newel posts anchored by gilded wood-rocking chairs at either end. Each step is capped with a simple rope-like balustrade which alternates between solid panels and delicate fretwork. At the top of the stairs, we can see the influence of Asian export art in the fretwork of the stair rail and the delicately lacquered walls, a feature common in federal interiors of the period. These details culminate in the landing with a broken segmental arch fanning out above the stairs and framed by fluted pilasters. In the parlor, delicate wall panels alternate with pilasters that frame the fireplace. And in the drawing room, Roman shades conceal window treatments while pilasters flank the doors with architectural authority. A fourth style, known as Adam style, emerged in the late 18th century in England. And like its name suggests, this style takes cues from the architecture of ancient Rome and Greece. Elements like swags and festoons appear throughout the house, particularly in the drawing room, where they are paired with delicate wall panels to form a backdrop for some elegantly furnished rooms. Unlike Georgian architecture with its heavy wooden furniture, Federal style embraced lighter woods like mahogany and inlaid them with ivory, mother of pearl and brass, showcasing exceptional craftsmanship. Perhaps no other element of Federal style is more recognizable than the fanlight. Originally, fanlights were used over doorways to allow light into dark interiors, but soon became a decorative fixture synonymous with early American architecture. And if you're curious about the little triangle shapes at the tops of doors, they're called lintels. And while they were originally designed to transfer the weight of the lintel above to the door jambs on either side, they soon became a purely decorative element. Beyond the elite upper class, Federal style influenced middle-class housing as well. In Philadelphia, Baltimore, and other cities along the East Coast, row homes emerged as a way for working folks to own property in walkable neighborhoods. These homes featured brick facades with evenly spaced windows and doors, giving them a uniform appearance. Though less grand than the homes of America's elite, they were imbued with the same level of sophistication and care. Brick was by far the most popular material for these homes, though stone and wood were also used, particularly in New England. These homes were typically 3 to 4 bays wide and 2 to 3 stories tall, featuring low-pitched roofs with dormers to shed excess heat in the summer months. Decorative elements like cornices and fanlights might be scaled back, but were no less important than in their wealthier counterparts. This style of home spread across the country, taking root in Cincinnati, Ohio, with the Music Row homes built during the first Greek revival in the 1830s. In the South, low country style emerged with large, airy rooms that opened onto porches overlooking expansive gardens. As the United States expanded westward, Federal style went with them. Early settlers in the Northwest Territory prized the intricate detailing of Federal style and its adaptability to local materials. In fact, the Cutler to Steven House near Cleveland, Ohio embodies the very essence of Federal style, with delicate brickwork, a low-pitched hipped roof, and evenly spaced windows. Inside, pilasters frame the fireplace in the parlor and contrast with the delicate frieze and cornice above. In the dining room, chair rails and wainscoting define each wall, creating a backdrop for some well-loved antiques. Upstairs, Solomonic balustrade contrasts with simpler post and rail configurations. And in the master bedroom, delicate cornice work anchors the walls with intricate detail. By the 1830s, however, a new style was emerging in the United States, one that cast off the restraint of Neoclassical architecture in favor of a more freewheeling style that drew inspiration from the Gothic past. We'll explore the origins of American Gothic next time on this house. And if you can't wait to see what's coming up, be sure to check out our new series, Behind the Scenes. Each week, we'll give you a sneak peek at an upcoming episode, share behind the scenes footage, and give you a chance to ask us your questions, which we'll answer in future episodes. So don't wait. Head over to our channel now and subscribe to our new series today. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. Which room was your favorite? Let me know down below in the comments section. And while you're there, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode. I would also like to take a moment to say a special thank you to our supporters whose names you can see on screen right now. I'll see you next time.